it's Tuesday, so I am cooking again. I'm making roasted Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts are one of my favorite things. I already cut all of them up because I don't really want to spend time just like sitting here cutting up Brussels sprouts. So I did all that ahead of time. Just gonna rinse them off. I didn't do that yet. So a nice little rinse. And Brussels sprouts are one of those things that's so easy and healthy. And there's so many ways you can cook them. I love them roasted. I like getting them fried too when you're out to eat, but I don't fry food in my apartment, so I'm gonna just spread these out onto a baking tray. I'm just gonna keep it very, very simple with the roast because I'm gonna have a sauce that we're gonna put on top. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of avocado oil. More like a lot, because we're gonna get these nice and toasted. I want them a little more crispy than anything. Thanks, Beth. So, and then I'm just gonna put a little, like some salt on it. And I already have the oven preheated to 425, so it's super hot. It's not gonna take that long. So I'm gonna, literally, this is all I'm putting, actually, and pepper, salt and pepper, a little bit of seasoning. But this is all that I'm roasting them with. I'm not adding anything else. Everything else is gonna be added after. Okay, so salt, pepper, avocado oil in the oven at 425. All right, so the sauce we're making is this peanut sauce. So I already kind of did the Liberty and I made my own peanut butter. I saved you guys the agony of listening to the food processor go on for 10 minutes because it took a long time, so I'm really glad I did it before. But literally I put dry, there weren't roasted peanuts into the food processor, and I think it was like 10 minutes. You literally just let it go, and it's crazy. It wants a transformation of like super dry powder to then it starts getting this nice liquidy. I added salt to it because they weren't salted peanuts, and I also added some coconut oil to make it a little less dry, because these aren't roasted, so the oils aren't really extracted as much. So I'm not gonna use all this peanut butter in our sauce. I'm gonna save some for Ranger. So I'm gonna put some in a little container and then we'll make the sauce from there. Just gonna take a little bit of this out. He's gonna love this. And this is like a lot cheaper way of making peanut butter than buying it from the store. I know I have a bulk food store where I live. Sprouts is like a great place. I know Whole Foods does, but they might be a little more pricey. So I'm gonna leave, it's probably about a cup of peanut butter in there. It's really good. I haven't used peanut butter in a while, but this sauce is gonna be so good with it. And I'm gonna take some soy sauce, about a couple tablespoons. I'm gonna juice one whole lime. You guys are gonna hear the food processor, but I didn't want you to hear the whole symphony of it. Because one thing Megan told me, she's like, your live videos, like, only you can mute out when you have to use the food processor. I'm like, I don't know how to do that, Meg. Might be able to figure it out, but we'll see. Juice one whole lime. I really like Asian cooking. It's one of the things. The only thing is, I like making it myself because you don't need to add as much sugar as they add into their recipes. Granted, it might make it taste like a lot sweeter, but it's not necessary. And then I have this chili garlic sauce. This stuff is spicy, but so good and adds a nice extra kick. This is a soup spoon and will not fit in there. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. I've been a little tired recently. Actually took a little mini cat nap before this, after I let Ranger out. So I put like about a tablespoon of that in. And I'm gonna let this down. Bring this over so you guys can see the magic happen. So this is just like a traditional peanut sauce. Why can't? There we go. And just a little bit. You honestly don't need a food processor to make this. You can, why is this stuck? You can honestly just use, like, just mix it together. It doesn't need to be that thoroughly mixed. Oh, this is super thick. Ooh. Okay. One thing I'm also gonna do is add, oh, it's spicy. Add a little bit of hot water to it. So I'm just gonna heat up some water. But boy, that tastes really good. It just needs, it's a little too thick. Like, look how thick that is. It's like really thick peanut butter. Oh my gosh, it's so good though. So I put a lot more water on than I actually need for this. You probably want to put like maybe a couple tablespoons in, just to really loosen up, and you want it to be hot water because just so it can loosen up the fat in the peanut butter. But along with this, well, the whole Brussels sprouts, I'm gonna have some rice noodles on the side, just like with my little peanut sauce. So that's why I have this heating up. I love using these pad thai noodles. They're so great. And like anything, you know, that's the one thing about like buying noodles is you don't know where, rice noodles is that you don't know where they're coming from. But these are completely vegan, gluten-free, ready in 5 minutes, super easy. And I honestly like, everything's kind of just going. Yeah, so it's funny how I come up with these recipes. So the origin of a lot of these comes from when I'm out to eat. I literally like eat stuff and I'm like, oh, and I think like, what is in this that's making it taste so good? And I try and like deconstruct it while I'm eating. Sometimes I'm not always that thorough when I'm out to dinner, but for the most part, I like to kind of recreate dishes that I eat to the best of my abilities. Or one thing I do is I do go online and look at certain recipes, but I never follow them. I have never like been that great at executing recipes to a T, just because I feel like, except for baking, always follow those recipes to a T because that's more sciencey. But like actual cooking, you don't need to, because you're gonna have like slightly different, unless you buy exactly the same ingredients, it's gonna be a little bit different. So you do want to kind of make it your own in a way. So you can definitely follow my recipes, but honestly, when I put up my recipes, everything, the measurements aren't exact, because if you see, I really measure anything that went into this dish. You know, I have my sauce, but I might have put a couple tablespoons of soy sauce, maybe a tablespoon of this. And you also, like, spiciness, you also want to do it to taste. So you don't want to add a shit ton of this if you don't like spicy stuff. I'm already, like, it's like finally starting to set in. I feel like I'm sweating. So what am I doing? All right. So we got some water that's slightly hot, and I'm literally just going to scoop out a little bit out of like a quarter of a cup thing. I'm gonna scoop some of this out. Let that keep on going, and I'm just gonna put this back on and add this. Let me show you guys. Add this through the top. So I'm gonna go slow. Yes, that's slow. And I'm kind of just looking for the consistency I want. Okay, let's test this. Oh, this is so much better consistency than what it was. Just make sure it's actually, yeah, it's like actually dripping off. That's like kind of what I want. It's a nice sauce to really like just drizzle on top of the Brussels sprouts. You guys are probably thinking peanut butter Brussels sprouts, a little weird, but this is like definitely more of a savory thing. That's really good. I could just take spoonfuls of this all day. But also, if you guys have any questions when I'm cooking, please feel free to ask them. Always open to questions. There's no stupid question. It took me a while to like really get into honing cooking. Like I watched a lot of cooking shows growing up. One of the things I used to watch was the Food Network. I don't know if anyone else knows when it got canceled for a month. Back in, I want to say it was 2009 or 2008. I was in high school. And I remember it got canceled. I went to go turn to the channel, and I was like mortified. I was like, what? Where's the Food Network? Because I used to watch the Food Network every single day when I got home from school, which is like basically how I learned a lot of my stuff. I also learned from like, you know, my grandma and some stuff from my mom and dad. But a lot of like the stuff I really branched out with is definitely from watching the Food Network on. Alexa, timer off. I'm doing laundry. So I set timers for my laundry. I just have to remember to actually go get it after I do this. So now I don't think I'm going to use all of these rice noodles. It's funny, half the time, actually I don't even need scissors. Half the time I feel like I don't know where the scissors are. Megan has them like scattered around the apartment because she's like taking care of the plants. You remember that? I'm glad I'm not the only one. I feel like a little bit of a nerd sometimes. I'm like, yeah, I cried when they canceled the Food Network for like a month. Yeah, Giada. Oh, that's so funny. I'm glad I'm not the only one that was like super sad about this. I'm probably just gonna cook this much. I don't want that much food. If there's more than one of you, definitely want to cook the whole package. This is 8 ounces, so it's not even a pound, it's half a pound. Just gonna put those in the water, and ooh, gonna come down, check on these. Those are the Brussels sprouts. I'm gonna Make sure they're all nice and evenly cooked. They're definitely not ready yet. Get in there. Okay. And at this point, I'm just going to add a little bit of soy sauce onto them. Just to give them that little Asian flair. And I'll put them back in. And I think that's it for now, unless you guys want to watch more of the action. All I need to do is put everything together, put the Brussels sprouts, and then I'm going to just drizzle the peanut sauce on top of everything. And then that's my meal for tonight. So I'm gonna post this to my blog, so look forward to the blog post later on, and I'll show you the finished product. Hope everyone has a great night.